In the last video, I gave a brief introduction of photogrammetry. This time, I will try to explore a few open source softwares used for photogrammetry and see which one is the best fit available for us for both Mac as well as Windows. The first one is Recon. This is a small Python script built upon Visual SFM by Chinese student Zhou Lian. Uh, even in its approach, it's a very simple one. There is nothing much you need to do except paste the images into a folder and run the script which is shared. The results will be uploaded into the folder results, and the output format you will be looking at is stanford.ply. You can remove it from the location and do whatever you want with it. Go for the refined file, not for the other one. The next one is the big one, Mushroom. This runs on LS Vision framework for photogrammetry. But the main problem with this is this uses NVIDIA's CUDA framework. This is going to be more taxing on the hardware on one side, and on the other side this is not applicable. You cannot run this software everywhere. The main advantage with Mushroom is its simple interface. Open the file, just drag and drop images into the folder from wherever you want the images to be pasted from, and click start. Your work is done. Select a folder path for your project. See, it's not mandatory, but it will be more useful for you when you want to extract your files, nothing more. One real advantage here is, along with the standard nodes, you can add your own nodes, link them up in the way you want to make the process more refined. Note that I'm running the processes at an increased speed here, but this is going to take some real time. It's nearing the end, and finally it's done. The data is stored in the folder which we created as project folder. Go to the last one, pick the object. It's not just the object which you need to pick up. This has got the textures as well, so it makes much sense for you to copy the whole folder instead of a single file. This is also equally famous, the col map. So, but again, this also needs a mandatory CUDA graphics. Without that, it will not work at all. Go to automatic reconstructions, give the workspace folder, give the images folder, and simply hit run. This will do the work for you completely. But before doing that, you change the quality from high to medium, because if it is high, it is going to really take life out of your laptop. It took almost 40 minutes for me to run it in a high mode for a basic model. Let it run for some time. Okay, it's done. And even here you will see a dense point map. Go to the project folder. You will see the object there, either as .ply or as .obj. The last one is regard 3D. This one I ran it on Mac. Both, in fact, I ran it both on Mac as well as Windows. Uh, Software is good, but the problem is with its interface. First, set the project path. whatever it is. Give a name for your project. Load the images. In this case, you will notice that the whole information is not available with the images. Okay, compute matches first. Done. Now do the triangulation manually. This is what I am trying to tell here. Everything needs to be done manually. It's not a single click based interface. Okay, triangulation is done now. Now go for the dense point cloud. I'm running it on a high speed here. Dense point cloud is run. Again, there is one important thing here which you need to notice. These are all vertex colors. Every vertex is assigned a color, and based on that, the image is built. When you do the texture, process done, texture image. Okay, it looks good. Export it either as PLY or as OBJ. Save and you're done. Now let me do the same thing slightly differently. The same process, but instead of considering vertex points, I'll be using texture. Here, instead of using colored vertices, I'm using textures. Even computing the texture is taking some considerable time here. Again, all of this raises a single question: is it really worth it? Especially if your aim is animation, does it really matter for you to tax your computer this much? Rather, you can model something. It need not be that accurate as to reflect what is happening in the real world. But yes, if you are into serious modeling for photogrammetry, you may need these things. And probably you may need a better computer. Okay, finally it looks like this is getting done and done. Okay, I'm able to see some gaps. Let's see how it will be. Let me save this and let me open all of them in rendering software. The five files are here: coal map, mushroom, mesh recon, and both the regard 3D files. Okay, now look at them in Blender. So everything has got its own problem. Focus on the first one, which is created in mushroom. This looks really good. The third one is coal map. This is even better. Fourth and fourth and fifth are from regard 3D. The noise is too high, but the image finishing is really good. And the second one is from Mesh Recon. It's an absolute mess. It wasn't able to compute half the points. Look at the texture based regard 3D one. There are gaps everywhere. It looks like it's more deformed than everything else on the page. Mesh Recon, I'm going to avoid it as a starter. Now look the image from the back. You will notice that regard 3D was not able to create images, but it was able to create only meshes or a sort of mask. This may be due to the error which we saw while loading the images. Now look at them in the rendered mode. Only two of them have got textures. Rest three don't have anything such. Theoretically, you should be able to apply the texture map from the fourth image into on the fifth image. Because it's the same software, a combination of 4 and 5 should work well. First one means hands down. Third one, there is a problem with it because of the performance, even though it is better than the first one. Second one is a big no. See, here it is, this is good. If there is some way for me to export the texture from the fourth one to the fifth one, I think my work is done. Removing all these extraneous bits shouldn't be a big issue. So, CUDA, Windows, if both of them are there, go for Mushroom or Colmap. If neither of them are there, go for Regard 3D. If you have Windows and without CUDA, go for Regard 3D. And for any fast works or any works where you don't need that high level of detail, go for Mesh Recon. It's just there, maybe you will find some use with it. I don't see much use with it anyways. Okay, this is another image which I created using Regard 3D. Here I am going to here I am seeing some real detailing work. The noise is there, and it's not a mask. It's a full-fledged 3D image with a very high level of detailing. So Regard 3D will work. There may be some issue with those specific images, but Regard 3D as a general rule will work. Are you thinking I'm done? No, there is one more thing which I want to show you. There is an add-on in Blender by name Face Blender. This also uses approximately the photogrammetry model. What it actually does is, it has a base human head. You can apply any texture on top of it, and the skull will be molded automatically in the shape of your texture. Texture in the sense, in this case, the image of a person. Theoretically, it requires more, at least 5 to 6 images to map everything. But just to show, I'll show you how it works. Take an image of George Bush, apply the mask, fix the points. That's the main thing here. Generally, you'll start with the nose, ears, eyes, and then everything else. See, see the shape taking form. Add as many points as you want, it's up to you. But the bare minimum required here is to identify the shape. See here, the mesh is not able to identify the shape. So you'll have to go back to revert the most recent change. I just noticed I picked the wrong image for him. If you look at the caption of the image below. Once this is done, just create a texture. This is how the texture looks like approximately, because I didn't do a good work this time. And remember, I gave only one image. Everything else is darked out. Whatever is visible on the frame is visible here. Notice the skull. Even the head shape is slightly deformed to suit that of George Bush. You can do whatever you want with this skull. These are the texture and UV maps for this. And that's it for today. Hope you like this.